I'm Sriram. I'm from GSK Asia Pacific, and Sriram from GSK Asia Pacific, and I lead the so-called the really slow-moving products like Horlicks and Boost. We are actually pretty slow, compared to all the standards that has been set up before. And when Anirban told that he left for greater things from GSK to Slice, I didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it was for Katrina Kaif actually.
I said different.
Okay, so see, the collective number of years of experience sitting over here is far higher than what I have accumulated. So I don't really think so I can so to say advise or tell, so to say, what to be done. But what I can share is, so to say, 5 key critical things that sort of has happened to me over both my personal and professional lives, which has shaped me, what I am, which has shaped my attitudes, and has made the person that I am today. The first thing which sort of I would like to sort of talk about is, never take things for granted. So I have always been an average student, through my years. I love the backbenchers. I never wanted to come near the profs. Never at all. So the MBA just happened, so I landed up somehow in MDI. I don't know. I till date I don't know how I landed up over there, but I landed. And once I landed there, sort of I realized that I am in a set of a bunch of guys who are better than me. And you go through these B school ratings, and almost like these placements are assured. You don't need to care. You don't need to care how you're going to land up on the job. And I took things for granted, and I paid a heavy price for it. So when the 2 years finished, I was the typical 5 point someone, who just didn't know how to land up a job. I didn't land up job on a day one. I landed up on something on, so say, day one, what we call. In a sector which I didn't want, in a company which I haven't heard of before that they do operate in such kind of a stuff. So I landed up selling life insurance, and so that incident really kind of put me on a hard learning curve that I should never ever take things for granted, never. So I worked my way back. Dabur was sort of thankful in hiring me as an area manager from there. Then from there I came to handle Andhra Pradesh for the foods portfolio, and that is where I learned my second, a second important moment for me, and this happened at a distributor's point. So we have something called hamalis. Are you aware of what is a hamali? I mean, of course you would know. I'm talking of people in general. So people who things or so say who help in transporting the goods from the truck to the godown or to. So basically so at this distributor's point, so I was standing, my zonal head was standing, and my team, which is the sales officers and the TACs and everyone. And for some reason I didn't particularly like the way this loader was offloading or unloading the stocks, because it was going in a very random manner. It's a food product, it can get burst, my breakages could go up, my targets could be severely impacted. So I started, so to say, almost and he was an old person, he was like, he looked visibly old, and I was this a young 23-year-old guy, standing there, and I was, so to say, almost started abusing him, and I didn't take things very lightly the way he was doing it. And my boss was standing over here, so he had spent like 25 years as a TAC in HUL, he had worked through the ranks, he was a straight ranker. So he just asked me, look, Sriram, do you know what's the name of this guy? And I absolutely had no clue, what was the name of this guy. I had been seeing him for the last 8 months. I had been coming regularly to the distributor point, at least twice or thrice a week. I had known everyone, but I didn't know the name of this guy who was standing and doing the stuff which was important for us. If he had not been there, who would have been loading or unloading the stocks? So that day, so to say, I learned, so to say, my second lesson, which is never ever forget your roots. Which is very close to the example what Sanjay also mentioned regarding Deveshwar, so taking his own personal handkerchief, and he could have told anyone over there, and people would have been rushing to clean that pack of cigarettes over there, but he didn't do. He wanted to set a personal example, and this is what so to say we come across, people who set personal examples, who are always rooted from where they are. You might be a CEO, you might be anyone, but if you are not connected to your roots, things will fall off. For sure it will fall off. Well, what else I said? Yeah. Third thing, yeah, shut out the outside world. And it's extremely important. I'm a Tambram. I'm a Tamil Brahmin. We are very proud of our cultural roots, and there is one constant thing which comes with every Tambram community, that you have to be an engineer, you have to be in an IT company, and if you have not gone to US with a green card, you are doomed. So that's the kind of community I come from, and from there I've been selling God knows what. So I'm the little outcast, but that's how I am. So this happened. So when I say shut out the outside world, so when I was selling life insurance and I was desperate to move out, coincidentally I landed up 3 job offers. One was from Standard Chartered, one was from Infosys, and one was from Dabur. And believe me, Dabur was paying me the lowest, from all the stuff that you could think of. So Infosys, I was associate consultant. Dabur, I was an area manager selling juices or whatever. And Standard Chartered, I don't even remember what it was. So there was a huge pressure from my family to take up Infosys, and don't lose Infosys. Infosys was the company at that point of time. It was the hallowed portals of entering Infosys, and and of course, yeah, there was a huge pressure, not just because it was Infosys and IT, also because they were paying much higher than what Dabur was offering me. And Dabur knew that that I was desperate, so I think they offered me less. So so in retrospect, of course, I made that same decision. I joined Dabur because that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in consumer goods. I had sort of a small stint in my summers in the bad fields of Morena, but I still loved it. So that was sort of say, in retrospect, it really helped me. So I shut out what were people talking about. I listened to myself, what I had to do. People do keep on talking about, what's your purpose in life, or I never found my purpose in life till now. To be honest, and all these, people who talk about a lot of gyan, they say, find the inner purpose in your life and you will really love what you're doing. I don't think so, it will come on one particular shining morning that, you will find what's the purpose in life, but it's a series of steps, a series of experiences, series of different learnings, which will eventually, if you're lucky, it will definitely lead you to, what you actually eventually want to do in your life. So yeah, so that was about it, which is shutting out the outside world. The fourth is believing in something and have an inner measure of your success. That's the problem, more so in India. I've sort of seen a few other countries, culturally how they operate. And we Indians are the most ruthless, not just upon ourselves, but upon everyone else, whether in our family or our children or whoever. We always benchmark ourselves against the next guy sitting over here. Or there is always a degree, there is always a B school, there is always a corporate brand name tag, there is always something which is to be aspired for. There is always that bigger car to be aspired for. For me, so this happened to me, so when I say you should have an inner measure of your own worth. So I, from Dabur, post sort of a very short stint in Times Internet, I joined Kimberly Clark Lever, which is actually JV between Kimberly Clark and Hindustan Unilever, and I was doing the brand building, and I was told that I would maybe the first or the second male brand manager to handle sanitary napkins. So I was handling sanitary napkins in Kimberly Clark. Initially, it was extremely embarrassing for me. If somebody asked me, oh, so which brand are you handling in Hindustan Unilever? I was, okay, I'm handling feminine hygiene. Okay, what is feminine hygiene? So then I had to say, what product it was. So initially, it was extremely embarrassing for me. But the best learning that I've had in my professional life was in handling sanitary napkins. I can tell that unabashedly today, because it was a difficult category for me to work for, not just from a professional point of view, but from a cultural standpoint of view. Indians just don't want to talk about it. It's an extremely taboo subject. My wife didn't want to speak to me for a very long time. What are you doing over here? So I used to, make her go around the shopping carts and just see which lady is carrying which bag and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult time for me. But this incident, what happened when I say the inner measure of your worth, so this happened. So in Unilever, we used to have something called quarterly growth plans. So every quarter, you used to set, what's the next quarter plan going to be. And if people have handled smaller brands in a big organization, you know that pain. That big brands always gets the limelight. So if a Lifebuoy brand manager walks in, oh, Lifebuoy brand manager, oh, Lux brand manager, so everyone right from sales to Nitin Pranjpai would give lot of respect, would give lot of time, would give lot of effort to this big brand guy, who is coming in. And the smaller fries, who are sort of handling the smaller brands, मतलब वो डूब भी जाए कल को तो किसी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, यानी कि वो कुछ हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. That's the, and it's a really painful thing, because it's almost your self-esteem, your self-worth, which is staked up on the table. And I still very clearly remember that meeting, that it was a group of sort of the regional managers in Unilever, with the supply chain guys and all that stuff. And so the other brand that which was part of the category was Huggies, which was the infant diapers, and it was 80% of the portfolio. I was only 20% of the portfolio. So of course, the 80% of the brand has to be discussed first, and lo and behold, it was almost 99% of the time. So the last 10 minutes which was left, okay, so shall we also discuss this other brand which is sitting over there? And something happened that day inside me, and I just something snapped inside me, and I just told whoever was present over there that my brand contributes to 20% of your salary. Yes or no? They will say yes, yes. If you don't want 20% of your salary, let's not discuss this brand. But if you want to discuss this 20%, if you want to take back your 20% of the salary, let's devote the ideal 20% of the time which is required over here. Something snapped, it shouldn't have been said professionally maybe, but something just snapped, and that from that day onwards people started taking seriously, because it's not just the brand, it's also the guy who is handling the brand. It's also the guy who's trying to project what the worth of the brand is. And brand is just an example, it could be anything that you are doing or that you are handling. The world will always try to tell you that what you're doing is not worth. And there are better people doing better things in life, but don't listen to them. Listen to what you believe in, and make it worthwhile. Make it people stand up and listen to what you have to say. And the last thing, which is more from as a marketeer's perspective, always ask the why. Always, and more importantly, ask the why when things are going good, and not see when things are going bad. Everyone asks why. Right from top management, you will have reviews twice a day or thrice a day. Things are not happening, sales numbers are not happening. So there will always be a why. But it's more important to ask that why when things are going good for you. When sales numbers are happening, you are gaining market share, the brand, all the brand attributes are on a positive swing. Everyone is happy. Everyone wants to go home and relax. That's the point. You ask the why, and that will actually tell you the answers, which will help you when things are going bad for you. So that's about it from my side. Try to encapsulate what I have personally gone through over the last decade or so, and I wish you all the very best in whichever endeavors you are going to go after. And yeah, thanks for your time. All the best.